Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing a rapid-fire briefing on the key legal, financial, and environmental changes you absolutely need to know about to stay ahead of the curve. So, if you're running a business here in the UK, this is for you. We're going to be diving into everything from your duties as a director to the new digital tax rules and the big push towards a green economy. You know it, I know it, the whole business landscape is shifting under our feet, and it is happening fast. But don't worry, we're here to cut through the noise and give you some clear, actionable insights. All right, let's jump right in. First up, Section 1, Know Your Director Duties. This stuff is absolutely fundamental. It doesn't matter if you're the hands-on managing director or a silent partner in the background, the law holds you to the very same high standard. So where do these duties come from? Well, they're baked right into the Companies Act 2006, and they lay out these 7 core responsibilities for every single director. Look, these aren't just friendly suggestions. They are the legal bedrock of good governance. They cover everything from the basics, like following the company rules and using your own judgment, to the really important stuff, like loyalty and always acting in the company's best interests. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. What does the law actually mean by promoting success? It's not just about hitting this quarter's profit target. No, you are legally required to think about the long-term impact of your decisions. That means considering your employees, your suppliers, the environment, and, of course, your company's reputation. It's a much more holistic view of what success really is. And that leads us perfectly into duty number 5, avoiding conflicts of interest. It all boils down to keeping your personal interests completely separate from the company's success. But here's the kicker, the really crucial part. This duty of loyalty, it doesn't just vanish when you resign. It actually continues even after you've stepped down as a director. Okay, let's switch gears for Section 2. We're zooming out now from your personal duties as a director and looking at the much wider financial landscape, the tax changes and the economic shifts that are affecting pretty much every business in the UK right now. First up, tax. You've probably heard about it. The government is pushing ahead with Making Tax Digital, or MTD, for income tax. Now, if you're a sole trader or a landlord, you need to be paying close attention. And here's the timeline. As you can see, it's being rolled out in stages. The first wave kicks off in April 2026, and that's for everyone with an income over £50,000. A year after that, it expands to those earning over $30,000. And trust me, this is not a small tweak. We're talking about a change that's set to affect nearly 3 million people. But here's the big question. Are businesses actually ready for this? Well, this chart is pretty revealing. For that very first group, the over 50K earners, a whopping 37% are not yet using compliance software. That is a huge gap to close before 2026. The days of paper records are officially numbered. Okay, so let's zoom out again, this time from tax to the wider economy, because the latest data coming out of the Office for National Statistics is showing a really significant cooling trend. Take a look at that number, 718,000. That's how many job vacancies there are in the UK right now. It's the lowest it has been in over 4 years if you put the pandemic to one side. It's a really clear signal that employers are starting to hit the brakes on hiring. So why is this happening? Well, according to economists like Ashley Webb, it's a sign that the market is finally adjusting to recent hikes in national insurance and the minimum wage. It feels like a gradual cooling, not some kind of sharp, sudden drop. So, what's the bottom line for your business? Well, a cooling labor market could start to ease some of that upward pressure on wages. And that is a key indicator that the Bank of England keeps a very close eye on, which in turn could pave the way for interest rate cuts down the line. And finally, let's talk about the green wave. Honestly, this isn't just about ethics or PR anymore. New regulations are turning sustainable choices into a major financial issue for businesses. Okay, if you sell anything that comes in packaging, you need to listen up. A new scheme is coming called Extended Producer Responsibility. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it basically means that the companies who produce the packaging will now have to pay for its disposal. And how much you pay will depend entirely on how easy your packaging is to recycle. The new reality is actually pretty simple. You choose green-rated, highly recyclable packaging, and your fees will go down. You stick with red-rated materials that are hard to recycle, and your fees could literally double by 2028. It's a really powerful financial incentive to make the switch. And it's not just packaging either. There's some big changes coming for e-waste. Online marketplaces will now have to chip in for recycling costs, which should help level the playing field for UK businesses. And, in a real sign of the times, vapes now have their very own dedicated waste category. Speaking of green tech, the government is also making a big push for electric vehicles. There's an expanded grant scheme that now offers up to £3,750 off a new EV, and it gets applied right at the point of sale. But look, that grant is really just the start. The real saving for businesses is in the tax. Just look at this chart. It shows the huge difference in benefit in kind rates for the next tax year. An EV gets taxed at just 3%. A typical petrol car, you're easily looking at over 20%. The difference is massive. And the good news doesn't stop there. You could also get 100% first-year capital allowance, letting you write off the entire cost against profits. Plus, you'll be saving on your national insurance contributions. It all adds up. So let's tie this all together with 3 key takeaways. First, lead responsibly. Really get to grips with your director duties. Second, manage financially. Get ready for digital tax and learn to adapt to this cooling economy. And third, plan sustainably. Start looking at these green regulations not as a burden, but as a genuine financial opportunity. And that brings us to our final question, one for you to think about. Of everything we've covered today, those director duties, digital tax, the economy, or the green regulations, which one do you think is going to have the biggest impact on your business in the year ahead? Definitely something to chew on.